Players taking their final serves at the warm-up, and believe it or not, it has started to sprinkle here at Flinders Park.
15 love. It's a very solid start for Steffi.
In Steffi's semi-final match, I thought she started very nervously, but no sign of that today. Very confident opening 2 serves.
First service.
What an incredible angle Steffi Graf gets on that forehand. Really whips it cross court.
Chris Evert's boyfriend. With Chris is manager Bob Cain from the IMG company.
Game draw.
And first game to Steffi. She leads 1-love.
First game.
And that was a real surprise tactic by Chris Evert, charging the net after a good ground stroke. And that's what Chrissy will endeavour to do, promote long baseline rallies and try and wear her younger opponent down.
could see there that Steffi's really going to try and attack that second serve. That time missing, but she really did get some weight behind that one.
Out. 40-15. Beautifully from the baseline. She's playing very solidly at the moment. 1 game all. Let's hope she can keep it up.
And I think the crowd may have indicated their preference then. A very hearty round of applause when Chris won that game.
She's always been very popular here in Australia. Love 15. Oh, beautiful. Love 30. Here Chris is trying to use every part of the court, and she certainly did this in this point.
Extraordinary power from the back of the court.
15-30.
And here's this unique power from Steffi Graf from behind the baseline off virtually a still ball.
All.
And as we expected, a lot of long rallies in this match. Both girls keeping the ball very deep, waiting for the short ball to move into the net, but so far the girls have been keeping the ball right on the baseline.
Out. 40-30. Juice. Seems to be hitting a little bit harder than in her other matches. I think she has to against Steffi though. Advantage Graf.
Yes, she is hitting a little firmer possibly and trying to keep the ball deep to stop Graf from being able to just tee off and hit winners. So if the ball isn't hit solidly enough, Steffi can get around her backhand where she's less dangerous.
Cain Graf.
Games are going on serve though, and Steffi Graf is leading Chris Evert 2-1 in the first set.
Graf leads 2-1 first set.
Decided that the court is too wet. And at
Ladies
this
and
moment, with the score
gentlemen, players suspended.
2-1 to Steffi Graf, we will take a short break. And it will be Chris Evert who will now serve, trailing 1-2, first set. Evert, the more experienced of the two players, you may expect her to have some slight advantage over this delay.
Chris Evert to serve. Quiet please. Ready, play. Love 15.
That was quite different to the way that Steffi Graf began this match with an ace.
Unlucky there for Chris.
15-30.
She had that ball covered. She was there in position for the volley, but the net cord just throwing her off. Steffi just asking for one of the balls to be checked. Probably it's got wet. Still the back of the court very damp.
Interesting to see Chris move to the net there. Sue, do you think she might do a little bit of this in this match?
I think she's going to have to. She's under tremendous pressure to keep the ball very deep all the time, but I think she has to take the chance to come into net and force Steffi into making those winners.
15-40.
Two double faults from Chris this game. And rather a nervy resumption for the number 3 player in the world. The Evert camp boyfriend, Andy Mill.
Cain Graf.
There is the break of serve, and Steffi Graf leads 3-1 in the first set.
Graf leads 3-1.
Evert going to change ends, which is the normal thing after the first game.
Well, I think that shows that her concentration really wasn't quite as good as we would have anticipated. And to change ends there, and also the two double faults. A little bit of a surprise, really, from someone as experienced as Chris.
First service. Love 15.
A little bit of luck going each way as we see the camp Pavel Slozil of Steffi Graf.
Love 30.
So now Steffi's turn to be in trouble on serve, but the condition's very difficult. The girl's now serving, looking up into lights, not into the sky.
Yeah. 15-30.
Conditions like these that neither girl have experienced so far in this tournament, so it might take them a while to really settle down.
Yeah. 30 all. Yeah. 40-30.
Chris is just missing that cross-court backhand. She hit it so beautifully in the semi-final against Martina. It's a long time since I've seen her hit the ball as hard and as close to the lines using the angles. But this afternoon, just missing with a couple of those shots.
Cain Graf.
And Steffi Graf leads 4-1 in the first set.
Graf leads 4-1, first set.
And you'll see that the roof is closed on the National Tennis Centre, and for the first time in Grand Slam history. This is the first time in history of tennis that a Grand Slam event has been played indoors, the finals of a Grand Slam event. So history being made here at the National Tennis Centre.
Love 30.
Just looks a little impatient, Chris, doesn't she?
Yeah, she does. She hasn't settled down at all. When she started this final, she was very, very confident, but a lot of unforced errors creeping into her game at the moment. I think those 2 double faults in the first game have really distracted her.
Love 40.
And that's very unlike Chrissy to make unforced errors and appear rushed. She really does appear a little flustered almost at this stage.
(15-40). Cain Graf. Graf leads 5-1.
Well, it's just a little bit surprising, actually, at this point. Steffi Graf's doing it fairly comfortably with not having to work really at all these last 2 or 3 games.
15 love.
She can really afford now to hit out Steffi Graf, setting that up with that forehand, then running round, and she had the choice to go either way. That big forehand is going to win her a lot of points today.
As you were saying,
love.
Steffi hits the ball harder than any other player in the women's game.
Love.
I somehow get the feeling here it's set point now for Steffi that Chris has almost sort of given this set away. She's rather disgusted with herself, I think, the way that she's played the last few games. I think we'll see her really try to regroup in this next set. Looks a little frustrated with her play.
Game, first set
There is
draw,
the first
6
set.
games to 1.
Steffi Graf, 6 games to 1.
New balls, please.
Has not lost a game since the resumption of play, since the roof has been closed.
Love 15.
And Chris just losing her patience. She's normally so reliable from the back of the court, getting involved in the long rallies, but at the moment missing after 3 or 4 balls.
Well, she's only won 5 points since play has resumed. I think she's thinking about that rain delay because at 2-1, before it started to rain, she was really playing quite well. It started really well.
Love 30.
Better point from Chris.
15-30.
Looking a lot more positive in that rally. Really vital that she holds on to her serve here.
Look at Steffi moving wide, threatening to take the second serve on a forehand.
Well, that's her best shot, I think, John. Steffi Graf, the off forehand, she bounces around, gets into that backhand corner and hits the off forehand so well. Break point.
Great play from both girls here, and Chris, the one to come into the net. Lovely touch there, but how quick Steffi was to pick that one up. So 1 break point saved. Second serve again.
Cain
There's the break, and Steffi leads 6-1, and 1 game to love with a break in the second set.
First game, second set. First set, Graf.
And that is the score. Steffi Graf has been dominating since the rain interruption. Has not lost a game.
Love.
Steffi's serve has really improved over the last year, as we see here, really reaching up and slicing that one wide. Generates a lot more power in her serve now than she did 6 months ago.
15-all.
Steffi's second double fault.
Help! 30-15.
Certainly looks very irritated to me. Chris Evert, I've seen her play so many matches in her great career, and she's not even really playing her own game today. I mean, with shots like that, I guess it's a bit hard to play your own game.
40-15.
It wasn't a bad return from Chris, maybe not deep enough, but again, Steffi going for the opening. And she doesn't miss too often with that forehand.
(40-30). Cain, Graf.
Is she thinking that serve was a fault? She's just standing there looking at where the ball landed.
Graf leads 2 games to love.
And nothing going right for Chrissy at this stage.
Love 15.
And still the errors continue for Chris. Player of great experience though.
Love 30.
Peter Graf and Pavlov Slozil there as we look at the first serve stats. Graf only serving at 50%, but it's not causing any problems at this stage of the match. But I've just rarely seen Chris Evert so out of sorts with herself and with her game. I mean, I can only think that it must have something to do with the roof being closed. She's down another 3 break points here.
Cain, Graf.
There's the break. We go up 2 breaks of serve in the second set. Steffi now leads 6-1 and 3 love.
Graf leads 3 games to love, second set, and by 1 set to love.
So Steffi Graf absolutely dominating at this stage in the ladies singles final. Chris Evert, Andy Mill.
Love 15.
And Chris much more attacking in this point. Great half volley to finish on.
And perhaps it's a shot like that or a point like that that might really revive Chris.
Another lob there, just not deep enough.
15 all.
Chris,
Now from the other end.
yeah, Chris
lob.
going for a favourite shot, but just not deep enough.
30-15.
And again, plenty of power in that first serve.
Cain Graf. Graf leads 4 games to love.
Well, I think the big crowd's just a little bit shocked with this. I think most people felt that Steffi probably would have a little bit too much power, but I mean, Chris did play so well in the semi-final. I don't think they were expecting this sort of score.
15 love.
They'd love to see her get back into the match. Trying to encourage her there.
Out. 30 love. Love.
Well, a chance here to break the run of games against her.
Game Evert.
And Evert scores first game in the second set. She now trails 6-1 and 4-1.
Graf leads 4 games to 1, second set, and by 1 set to love.
Second set.
Love.
And as so many of Steffi's opponents have been, Chris seems to be intimidated and has been rushed and bustled out of this match.
Oh. All.
But when the match first started, Chris was content to play the long rallies, wait for the right shot, and was really hitting the ball hard and well. Yet since that rain delay, the errors have started.
Tremendous first serve by Steffi Graf.
30-15.
Chris did well just to get a racket to that one.
Steffi now just full of confidence, going for the lines.
It must have been scary for Chris because even when her forehand went wide, Steffi was able to get to the ball.
Cain Graf.
Well, tremendous serving in that game from Graf. Just showing no mercy whatsoever.
Graf leads 5 games to 1.
No respect for the former #1 player in the world.
Love 15.
Again, the court movement of Graf just bouncing all the time on her toes, never stopped for a moment, and getting into that backhand corner where she controlled the points with her forehand.
15 all.
Take the time just to watch her feet sometimes in a rally. That gives you really a graphic illustration of why she can get into position so quickly.
Chris in that rally able to keep the ball a bit deeper.
Out. 30 all.
Not looking very happy is the Evert camp. Manager Bob Cain.
What a tremendous point.
$40-30. On fault.
Just nothing going right for Chris at the moment.
Great tennis by Evert. And the champion fights back. But Steffi Graf leads 6-1 and 5-2.
Graf leads 5 games to 2, second set, and by 1 set to love.
Welcome back. The Ford Australian Open, and that great cheer is for Chris Evert, who fought back valiantly in the last game. Apparently against hopeless odds. She is trailing 6-1 and 5-2, and Steffi Graf is serving.
Love.
Oh, great court coverage here from Steffi Graf. Doing so well to reach that one, but Chris there into the open court, but she very nearly got a racket to that as well.
$15-30.
Steffi just a little late on that forehand.
15-40.
Evert hanging in there.
Quiet, please.
Chance to get one of the breaks back.
30-40.
Showing absolute complete disrespect for the scoreboard there at 15-40.
Game Evert. Graf leads 5 games to 3.
Well, the crowd right behind Chrissy here. Great game from her. And the break serve when her opponent has really so much dominated this match.
Love 15.
Well, Chris is a great competitor, and she will be fighting, even though she's struggling still to find her timing. More unforced errors than we're used to seeing from her.
Steffi has really lapsed into making an unusual number of errors in the last couple of games.
But I think, John, when she came back, when they came back on court from that rain delay, that she was winning the points very easily. She wasn't having to work for them, and now all of a sudden the rallies are a lot longer. Chrissy moving the ball all over the court. Really making Steffi work now.
First service.
And Evert's coming back, trailing 5-4 in the second set.
New balls, please. Graf leads 5 games to 4, second set, and by 1 set to love.
Graf a little shaken in the last game.
Well, these early points are the key here for Evert.
Love.
So a real testing rally, that one. Steffi mixing Face up on the backhand, slicing it and hitting over it.
And she's serving with new balls this game, so that should help her power. And also, I don't think Chris really favours these balls as much as some others.
And there's a real sign of nerves. That second serve probably went over the service line by nearly 2 metres. There are the double faults, 3 apiece.
Right on the line, I think.
Real tension, real tension.
30-15.
Linesman actually signalled out but called in, and Steffi Graf got very upset with the crowd when they started to boo the call.
Well, the crowd thinking that the ball was long. They're just willing every point to go to Chris's way to see if she can get back into this match.
All.
And she's pretty close to getting back into it.
And Steffi Graf really gripped with tension.
30-40.
Just trying to nurse this victory home.
Quiet, please. Thank you.
Level the second set at 5-all. A tremendous comeback. Boyfriend Andy Mill, he's looking happier.
5 games all.
Well, you could never ever count Chris Evert out at 6-1, 5-1 down, and she really was playing by her standard very poorly. And I think at that point she decided that she really was going to give it a tremendous last-ditch effort, and aided with a little bit of tension from her opponent, she's levelled the match.
Love.
It's Peter Graf, the father, on the right, and Pavel Slozov, coach, on the left.
All. 30-15.
Just a towel down.
John, I think she'd really have to be feeling the pressure because nearly all of this tremendous crowd here is behind her opponent. Now, that's a lot for an 18-year-old to cope with, even though she is the #1 in the world. She's probably not used to this.
very upset.
40-15.
Steffi thinking that ball was a let.
And she's quite visibly upset at this moment.
Game Evert.
Has temporarily blown it, and Chris Evert now leads 6-5 in the second set. Evert has clawed her way back.
So the first point, the vital point to Steffi.
15-love.
Chris having fought back from 5-1. She really wants to win this game.
Wait, please.
Fantastic play from Chris.
That's a British understatement.
15-all.
Chris again coming into the net, not doing too much with the volley, just waiting for the setup, reaching up well for that smash. And Steffi unable to get that first serve in this game.
Yeah. 30-15.
Steffi now really fighting in this game to take it into a tiebreak.
All.
They're one of the rare errors we've seen from Chris in the last few games.
The backhand of Steffi's wasn't quite off the centre of the racket either. A lot of tension down there right now.
Cain Graf. 6 games all, second set, tiebreak.
Steffi again just running to
Evert to serve.
the chair for a towel. She's She's really been working very hard in these last few games. So it's Chris to serve the first point.
First service.
Both players unhappy with that call.
1-0 Graf.
Chris rarely one to question a call, and Steffi angry because it wasn't made quick enough.
Little tension down there on court at the moment. So important, these first few points.
First service. Two 0 Graf.
Chris just looks a little disappointed, I think, still over that close call that went against her in the opening point of this tie break.
Very nervous forehand there from Steffi, not really moving up to the ball. Very difficult for both players.
Two all.
What Steffi's going to have to try and do.
3-2 Graf.
Run round and try and get the ball on her forehand. So the backhand's looking a little bit shaky. Again.
Four-2 Graf.
Chris coming into the net in this point, but not really doing enough on this volley. It's quite a high volley. Didn't put it away and gave Steffi the chance to pass down the line. So
well, she should have done anything there, Sue, shouldn't she? But give her a forehand.
Yes, especially after the last shot.
Yes.
It's just what Steffi needed to get her confidence back.
Up against it.
Steffi being saved in this tie break by her forehand. Really has.
5-3, Graf.
And Chrissy half coming to the net then.
6-3, Graf.
Really in two minds, but stuck with the ball at her feet.
And Chris in that last rally really testing the backhand of Steffi Graf, setting up the chance.
We now have 3 match points for Steffi Graf.
Well, she's regained her composure quite well after dropping all those games with the crowd really in favour of Chris.
Game, set, and match, Graf.
Coach Pavel Fossil, number 18 years of age, the Australian Open champion from West Germany, Steffi Graf, having beaten one of the great players in the history of women's tennis, Chris
Steffi
Evert.
Graf wins 2 sets to love, 6-1, 7-6.